What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to another episode of, well, not Lyon Live, but Lyon in the future. Yes, today it's going to be a slightly shorter video, but we're going to be taking a look through what happened at Lyon after we left the club. Thought this would be interesting to do. So to start things off, we are 5 years in the future. I do have a save game, however, 11 years in the future that we are also going to check out today. But the reason I've gone with 5 years is just because I feel like anything beyond that, players start to retire. You know, some of the core players that you know and love will have left. And, well, I felt like this would be a good place to start. So you can see, of course, we resigned from our role on the 4th of June 2023. It's now the 11th of June 2028. And interestingly, Rui Vitoria, who I feel like I should be more familiar with. Yeah, you can see here, he's Benfica manager. He took over from us. How did he do? So we had a 73% win percentage. He has a 75% win percentage. And looking at it, they won the league a few times. I say a few times. It's now the end of the 2028 year, and it looks like they haven't won the league in the last 2 years. But he has continued on a little bit of winning ways. Let's have a quick look at the league table, shall we? If we just look at it for the most recent season, and I want to be on league table, of course. So yeah, they actually won the league, and in fact, we've gone too far forward here. They finished third, and they only lost one game in finishing third. They've done a little bit of a Liverpool there. Can we discuss the fact that 3 teams have finished on 97, 97, and 98 points? That is, I mean, Liverpool and Manchester City, eat your heart out. Let's look at the previous few years here. So PSG won the league 2026-27. Lyon won it here, unbeaten. That is absolutely incredible. I wonder if we look at the team of the year for that year, if there's many of our kind of former players in that side. Where are we looking? I don't want literal team of the year. I want like the best 11 of the year. 11 of the season. And if we go back, what year would it have been? I think it was this year. So, was it this year? I should get this right, shouldn't I? I should get this right. Right, I'm lost in the screens. Right, it was 2025-26. So that was this year. So actually, interestingly enough, it was the defence that was the big standouts. You got Eder Militao, Donnarumma, Kareem Thomas, and Barrow. I love seeing Barrow here. Oh, I don't want to look at that yet. I haven't actually checked what's happened in terms of the squad. I'm a little bit scared to do it. But Barrow here, wow. I mean, I thought he was going to be good. I didn't realise he was going to be this good. Of course, he's a youngster who we signed from Nantes for £3 million. Good transfer business, Jack. I mean, he's pretty blooming good, isn't he? I mean, he's incredible. Jeez. I mean, technically, maybe not the best defensively, nor going forward, but his mentals and physicals are crazy. Anyway, I don't want to spend too long in this video going through things, because as I said, I want to check even further into the future. Looking at it here, Lyon lost the title on goal difference in 2024-25. So, PSG got revenge. They got revenge for that year a couple of years before, where we won by 1 goal. They, on this occasion, won on head-to-head results. And the first year after we left, actually, Lyon won the league. And, well, you can see here, they got 92 points. They've done pretty well there, all in all. Looking through their squad here, all the players highlighted in blue are players that I added, or blue and red. I think it's actually the players highlighted in red. All the players highlighted in red are players I added to a short list. So we can see here, Emil Olesen, who was the young Danish chap that we signed. He's pretty good. He's very good. How much did we sign him for? We signed him for £5 million. You might remember he was kind of playing for the under-21s team for Denmark, aged 16. He turned out to be good, didn't he? He's on £235,000 a week. That tight wage management that I did has gone out the window, hasn't it, in terms of the budget. You can see here, Bast has continued to play for the side. He's out on the right-hand side of midfield, valued at 74 million. I like that. Paulo Freitas as well. Brazilian international, hasn't played a lot for Brazil, but, I mean, that wage, that's a lot. How much money are they spending on players? The tight wage budget that we had once upon a time's gone out the window. You can see here, Awar's doing okay. He actually looks like he's declined a little bit. I wonder if he's had issues with injuries in recent years. It looks like he might have had a few minor ones, but yeah, he's actually fallen off a little bit, which is a little bit disappointing. Still very, very good. Eder Militao, aged 30. He's still in the team as well. I mean, look at these performances. Who else we got? Ndombele still here. I'm happy to see Ndombele and Awar. There's a few players who I'm now sat thinking, where are you? Durand is here. He's turned out pretty good. 50 caps for the French national team, age 23 as a goalkeeper. I mean, he's still not Lyon's first choice because they've still got Donnarumma in goal, but he's doing okay for himself. I mean, Donnarumma, just an absolutely incredible goalkeeper in FM. Okay, so it's cool to see a lot of our kind of household names here. I will, of course, provide save games down in the description. So if you want to check these out, because I'm not going to be able to go through everything, feel free to do so. If we go to search and player shortlist, I believe, and I'm hoping I did this correctly, I shortlisted all the players of note who were at the club when we left and a few former players like Tolisso, for example, who I can see is at Juve. I feel like the logical thing is to look at the most valuable players. So actually looking at it, Sunday's there. He plays... What? He's playing for PSG. They signed him for 110 million. Look how they matter. I mean... You were meant to be the chosen one. And you went to PSG and went for the... I'm actually upset. He's gone for the money. Stavarace is playing for Man City. How good was Stavarace? Oh, okay. He was bloody brilliant, is the answer. Wow. He's actually better than I thought he was going to be. I mean, obviously, he had that incredible end to a year for us. What did he do after that first year? He got 17 goals in 28, 20 in 36. Then he moved to Man City for 94 million. 94. He's done pretty well on the goal scoring front as well. Lyon, who have you sold? Because there's lots of players here missing. I just want to look at the most valuable players they've sold over the years. So the year that we left was this year, right? Yeah, because we sold Kingsley Coman and Tolisso. So first year after we left, first summer, they sold Maulida to Barcelona, Gabels to Barcelona. Vigier went to Arsenal. Look how good he is, age 22. My word. I mean, we knew he was a talent, the centre mid, but look at that. He played 10 appearances following his immediate transfer to Arsenal. I don't know if I would have given him the first team opportunities to do that. Ferland Mendy went to Monaco. Renato Sanchez left. You can see Wagnerman went to Blackburn. A few smaller moves, really. Rodrigo Antonio, the player who I had big hopes for, and then he turned out to be rubbish. There was one or two of those over the years. But looking at it here, how did Marin get on? Never really developed on this save game, did he? Gabels, are you still at Barcelona? You've now gone to Juventus. You went to Barcelona for 46 million, barely scored for them, and then you've been out on loan the last 2 years. Well, there's a lesson for us all. What about you, Maulida? Maulida, interestingly, kind of hit the ground running at Barcelona. Not the craziest goal-scoring returns, to be fair. He's actually had his best year ever most recently. But yeah, they were sold for over £100 million. What happened in the years following? £150 million. Simon Guillet went to Man United. How good was Guillet in the end? I mean, good centre-back. Don't know if I'd call him a £115 million centre-back. And looking at it here, he might even be... he's transfer listed for £50 million. So that was not a good transfer. Moise Kean went to Chelsea, where he still resides. I don't like it. Dembele is still at Chelsea as well. So, interestingly enough, two of our former strikers now partners in crime. Up front together for Chelsea. I feel a bit conflicted about that. Toussaint went to Manchester United. I would have kept hold of him. His contract expires in 19 days. Is he going to get it renewed? I mean, based off these performances, probably not. Yikes. Lucas Romero went back to Vélez. I like that. He's now back at Bordeaux. He doesn't know whether or not he wants to be in Argentina or if he wants to be in France. Who else we got? Park, J1. He went to Barcelona for 37 million. That's crazy. He was a player who I was always interested to see how he'd get on. A few other players here. Trincao went to Basel. Phil Foden went to West Ham. He's now valued at 58 million. They sold him for 9 million. Tizzy. What became of Tizzy? He plays for Olympiacos and he's not very good. A few other players here who went outright. Third year after we left. So this is the year that Sunday left. Stavarace left and Kai Havertz left for PSG. And he's now ended up at Chelsea on loan. I guess because he just wasn't playing. Oh, I don't like some of these moves to PSG. I don't. David Diaz ended up going to Real Madrid. It seems like all the good young players that we bought that we thought were going to be good ended up being really blooming good, and all the big dogs in my absence kind of hoovered them up. Markovic ended up at Inter for 23 million. I feel like they got a steal there. Kasper Dolberg, who we got in on a free transfer, Watford signed for 16 million. A few other players here who you might recognise. 2026, 27, Kareem Thomas, 93 million. And also Auger. Okay, so he stuck it out for the club for a while and then he moved. Okay, he's really good, isn't he? How much did they sign him for? 85 million, and they actually loaned him out to Arsenal for the second half of the year. I mean, look how good Auger is. He would have been... It makes you wonder if we'd started Lyon earlier on in the year, if it hadn't been a live series, if it had just been a regular Let's Play where I can play more in my downtime, you know, when I'm watching football matches and stuff, how mental would this team have been? How stacked would it have been? I mean, look how good Kareem Thomas is. Just as a reminder, £3.1 million we signed him for. They've sold him to Manchester United for 93 million. He's nutty. He's actually incredible. Few 20s in there, anticipation and balance. I mean, he's pretty good, isn't he? I can't believe we've got him for £3 million. Not often an English player goes for that cheap. Weren't, by the looks of things, too many other big sales at this point. Spagnolo went to Swansea. He never really developed, although I think that is still a profit. The year after that, Lenglet went to... Why are PSG signing all of our players? Lenglet, only 2 caps for France. That is a crime. He's actually fallen off massively as a player. Fair play, he's got a pretty big payday for his quality. Petrenko went to AEK Athens. He looks pretty good. He's still only 24. It's weird to think that even 5 years in the future, some of the players who, you know, on the cusp of breaking into the first team actually have done quite well. I was always interested by Marius because he was a Polish player who our kind of assistants really, really bigged up. But you can see here he never amounted into anything. And then, yeah, well, that is the most recent year. It's kind of interesting. It looks like they have spent a fair bit of money, Lyon. If we look at landmarks, they had a consortium take over them at one point. They've continued to upgrade their facilities and such. If we just look at competitions, you can see here, it doesn't look like they had much success in Europe after our year of doing, winning the treble. Interesting. So Ollison is considered their key player. Hubert is their kind of hot prospect for the future. He's a player who wasn't there when we were around. If we just go back to our shortlist, are there any players who were at our academy who kind of made a big name for themselves, maybe sought by wage? Ralph Reckles, the left back. Okay. Again, another player wasn't ever really on my radar. We signed him from Nuremberg for 1.5 million. He was sold only 2 years after we left for 61 million. I can only assume he really developed in those last couple of years. I mean, between him and Barreau, we would have gone back to a back four, I can't help but think. Obviously, Auger and Stavarace left. Vigier is still at Arsenal. Just scrolling through here. Obviously, Gabel's at Juventus. Looks like there's a bid on him already. I guess Juventus have got him on loan and they're now trying to sign him. Tolisso is there. Shadas still playing for Bayer. Interestingly, Vargas went to Milan. I didn't even see him get sold. What happened? Oh, they've loaned him out. Okay, that's why I didn't see it. Looks like he's just been phased out the team, which is kind of harsh. He's only 31. He's still got gas in the tank to give. Gravenberch never really developed. What happened to Nick Tuns? What happened to him? Yeah, he's okay. He's okay. We have a buyback clause in his contract. I assume it still exists. I think we got £16 million for him. The fact he's on £105 million a week at Bournemouth is slight robbery on Bournemouth. I feel bad for them. Kakare, I always thought could be quite good, but never really broke into our team. You can see he went to Milan. He then had a loan spell at Manchester United. Yeah, an interesting player. James Taylor playing for Napoli, the Scotsman. The Flying Scotsman, perhaps. They've loaned him out, actually, a load of years. You can see here, he actually got 15 league goals and 6 assists for Napoli, which is pretty good. I'm going to scroll through here. There'll be other players like Mendy, I can see here, playing for Celtic. Depay's about to retire from Besiktas. Kingsley Coman also playing for Celtic. Apparently Celtic is just now a Lyon retirement home. But yeah, as I said, we're going to go forward another kind of chunk of years into the future. I've got another save that's 6 more years in the future. Obviously, a lot of these players are going to have retired, particularly the older ones. So as a result, it'll be more looking at some of the youngsters coming through and how they've done. Joseph Martinez, by the way, people always ask about what happened to him after he left us. Not a particularly fruitful career, it would be fair to say. Fekir is now playing for Feyenoord, which is a bit of a fall from grace. He moved there for 1.6 million. It looks like, amazingly, Real Madrid recouped a lot of their costs by loaning him out and then selling him to Roma for 38 million. But yeah, you can see some of the older players here. I don't think many of these names will still be around when we go into the future again. You can see there Kenny Tete now playing for Sporting, Cornet playing for Alaves. I'm trying to think if there's any other players here. Terrier, what became of Terrier? He's currently playing for Başakşehir here. He looks okay. He moved there for £12 million, and he's not done great. He's not done badly. He's just kind of existed. I think that's the kindest way to put it. Good though to see that the club value is high. Looks like they've still continued with their focus on youth. You can see here when we look at their kind of most recent 11, they've got Freitas in their team, although he's playing a deeper centre mid role. Look how good Freitas is, by the way. My word. Bast, Ollison, still hints of our team from the past. In fact, looking at it, there's 5 of the starting 11 players in the last game of the year were our players. It's not going to be that high when we go forward another 5 years. I know I'm going to have missed some stuff, so I do apologise for that. But let's load up the next save game, shall we? If we come here, Lyon, 10 years. It's actually 11 years. I set the game to holiday too far because I'm not a smart person, but that's fine. 11 years in the future. Not as catchy. Not as catchy, but yeah, I've not checked these, by the way. Like I've not seen what actually happens in them. I have just left them simming into the future. I guess we'll start with Lyon, shall we? I know someone's going to be annoyed by the fact the 75 inbox items. You are just going to have to deal with it, I'm afraid. So Ollison is still the key player. Love that, and he's also club captain. I think, is he club captain? He is. That's cool. He's been at the club for 12 years now. Look at that goal-scoring return, by the way. Jeez, he is carrying this team year on year, it looks like. I mean, before we get too carried away looking at players, let's look at the league kind of past winners. There's no Lyon since 2026. So 8 years ago, looks like Monaco have returned to dominance. Let's have a look. So Lyon finished 3rd this year. The year before they finished, actually, only 2 points behind Monaco on 102 points. That is just, it's ludicrous how high those points totals are. I mean, look at it. Every year it's just a crazy kind of scrap between the top 3 teams. Year on year. I mean, look how competitive it is. Unfortunately, Lyon aren't ever getting the best of the fight. They're always coming 2nd or 3rd. But nevertheless, it's still cool to see. Why has a 3rd... Oh, it's because they lost the playoffs. I was like, why has a 3rd team got relegated there? But that makes sense. Yeah, looks like Marseille have consistently kind of finished in and around the top of the table. But you can see here, looking at it, a little bit of a lack of success. If we just look at landmarks and then competitions, I'm looking for any Champions League stuff. And there isn't any. In the Trophy des Champions, how have they been getting on? They've won it a couple of times over the years. What about the French Cup? This was our trophy. I can see a lot of runners-up there, which concerns me. Obviously, we won this 3 years in a row. In our last 3 years. That was pretty cool. You can see the clubs continue to go on to do quite well in the competition. If we look at past winners, they finished runner-up the last 3 years. That kind of upsets me. I mean, what's the club value? It was, I noticed it was 7.1 billion previously. It's now down at 901 million. So the club has halved in value in 6 years. That's a little concerning. I guess they've not got all the assets that I was hoarding to sell. Freitas is still in the centre of midfield, and he's actually got better. Freitas. How much? We paid 7.5 million for him. Bargain. Ollison has now been playing out on the left wing with Bast on the right. I mean, I respect it still. 2 more of our old boys there. Barreau has now moved to left back. Interesting. He's still playing for the France national team. He's got 93 caps. Let's have a quick look at the French national team. How many players are highlighted in red here? Royer. He's one of the players that we brought in. Well, he was sold, actually, you can see here, to Leicester for 8.5 million. He was actually playing Gent at the club during our time here. Vigier, he's still playing for Arsenal, entering the prime of his career, putting in some pretty good average ratings, actually. 8 goals in his most recent season. Simon Guillet, now no longer at Manchester United, now at Barcelona, aged 30. Ogier, where are you, Ogier? You're still at Manchester City, still doing your thing. Not the best season lately, but still good to see. Durand, this upsets me. He went to PSG and he became the first choice keeper And he's done very well for them. He got 17 clean sheets in 33 games last season. And how many caps has he got? 119, aged 29. He could go on to get even more, couldn't he? Gabels is in the team, aged 32. He is still at Juventus. They signed him after that loan. The only issue with having a shortlist like the one that we've got is I believe that players, like random players, as older players retire, some younger players just start taking their place in terms of IDs. I might be completely wrong here. But if there are just some really random players we've never heard of, like if there's some youngsters here who I'm just like, who are you? Doesn't look like there are, so maybe we're okay. Tolisso is still playing, though. He's gone to Frankfurt. Ndombele, aged 37. How's he looking? Oh, my God, his legs have gone. He's playing for Rapid Vienna. He was at Lyon for a lot of years. I love that. He was there for 14 seasons. Didn't have the best last year. I guess that was as his legs fell off. But love the fact he's still playing football. Eder Militao has gone back to play in Brazil. I mean, I respect that. He went to Milan, actually, for £20 million and really didn't perform there. Seems like Lyon sold him at the right time. Donnarumma has gone to Torino. I have no idea how Torino are affording his wages, but apparently they are. They sold him for £500,000. What was all that about, boys? What happened there? How do Torino have money for this? Have they had a sugar daddy takeover? Yeah, they did. They literally had a tycoon takeover in 2026. That makes more sense as to how they were able to afford Donnarumma, although the price that they got him for is concerning. Also, Toussaint played for them, and he's now USL Dunkirk manager. He's been there for 27 days. Here's his career journey. Look at that. That's an adventure. So he did leave on a free, and then Alaves made some money when they sold him to Torino. I mean, I love this. It's like a nice little love story. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure if a player retires and becomes staff, they don't stay on your shortlist. There's no easy way for me to kind of track some other players. You can see here, Maulida's gone for her last payday. Aouar has ended up playing for Celtic. I mean, fair play. As I said, Celtic is the Lyon retirement home. It's confirmed. It's canon. Maulida, how many years did you play for Barca? A lot, although you didn't really do that great for them. Went to Deportivo La Coruña, and then since then he's gone to Saudi Arabia. Kanate, Havertz now playing for Stuttgart. Trincao, what became of you? Just pretty consistent, really. Played regularly in the Premier League for West Ham. Let's look at players sorted by value, shall we? So Sunday is the most valuable player at 97 million. He's aged 31 and he's valued at 97 million. I mean, there you go. Let's have a look at the World Awards. There's going to be lots of regens, obviously, that we're not going to recognise, but I do wonder if there's going to be any players that we recognise in terms of World Golden Ball and such. Stavarace won the World Golden Ball. I mean, that makes me happy. Oscar Dominguez, still playing for PSG. Caused us hell back in the day. Still there causing hell for everyone else. But yeah, Stavarace won the Golden Ball. I love that. World Player of the Year. Did Stavarace win it? He did win it. Way. What a player. I mean, look at him. He's still going strong, aged 30. Imagine how crazy he would have been for us over the years. World Team of the Year. Let's have a look through some of these years and see if we recognise anyone. Stavarace is in the most recent one, which is cool. Any other players we recognise here? Probably not. Just looking out for other players. Don't recognise anyone there. Oscar Dominguez playing out on the left-hand side in 2031. Moise Keane in 2030. So aged 30. Got in the World Team of the Year playing for Chelsea. Love that. That's like some weird, obscure like pub quiz question, isn't it? That you can imagine coming up. Looks like this Vaz guy, a Napolitano. I remember Napolitano, I feel like. I remember seeing him and thinking he was insane. He was insane. Also Vaz, he's in every single team. Portuguese youngster, signed by PSG in recent years for 84 million. Started his career, actually he went to Monaco for a little bit. He was at Monaco when we played them. Interesting. It would have been interesting to see how good he was back in the day. Let's keep going back forward here. Every time I look at a player profile, it resets the year, which is a bit annoying. Moise Keane appears in it there again. Stavarace, 2026, only 3 years after he left us. He was in the World Team of the Year as the striker. I mean, that's pretty respectable. It seems like Stavarace and Ndombele there, actually. Would have missed that. There's probably a few other things I've missed. But Stavarace, I love the fact he's done as well as he has. It makes me like irrationally happy. You can see here, look at all the stuff he's won. Let's have a look at his biography. I mean, that is an underwhelming biography, isn't it? I was hoping for something more substantial. He broke Man City's record for the highest average rating in the Premier League this year, well, actually the year before. What's his international goal scoring record like for Romania? 108 goals in 134 games. I mean, I really hope Romania have been to some World Cups. That's all I'm going to say on the matter. And they probably haven't. Actually, they did qualify for the Euros, and they didn't do well, did they? They reached the World Cup semi-final, and Stavarace was scoring in all the games. That's incredible. I love that. 2030 World Cup. They finished third place, literally down to Stavarace. I mean, I'm sure there's other stuff you guys could find here for me and tell me about, but that's the best thing I've seen. Stavarace getting the goals to propel Romania towards a World Cup. Apparently, he's not their key player. This guy's their key player. Of course he plays for PSG. He looks pretty good, doesn't he? He looks very, very good. I mean, Romania have probably just become the powerhouses of football. Scarily good. I now want to know who else they've got. So they've got this guy who plays for PSG. Is Stavarace, is he not in the national team at the moment? Has he retired? I don't know. I want to find out now. Leo, did you retire? I guess it would be a milestone. He was named Romania captain. Doesn't say that he's retired from international football. Oh, he did. He retired. He retired last summer. In fact, not last summer, last November. That's a little bit selfish. You're only 30, mate. I guess he wants to save his legs for club level. I bet the whole of Romania was devastated when that happened. I feel like if a player retires age 30 from the national team, they're kind of considered a bit of a snake. Oh, I love the fact that Stavarace's done as well as he has over the years. I'm sure there's other players here who I've excluded. What happened with managers then at Lyon over the years? They had Thomas Tuchel come in for a year, and then they had Schmidt come in. You can see here, Vittorio actually lasted 9 years. I mean, fair play to the guy. Had a better win percentage than us. Didn't win as much as us, though, did he? And that's what really matters. He just took our platform. He took our platform and sponged off us. I love the fact that Oleson's done as well as he has. Who else is on our player shortlist? So Stavarace's up there, Freitas, Oje, Kareem. How good did Kareem Thomas end up being? Look at that. I mean, he's not improved that much more since we looked at him before, but incredible. Absolutely incredible. James Taylor still at Napoli. He looks very, very good, to be fair, doesn't he? Very, very good. They bought him for 28 million off us. Bargain. I like the fact I'm referring to Lyon in the future as us. Fugelstad, playing for Valencia. Did you end up being good? This was a guy we signed age 17. I mean, the kind of money he's moved for. We let him go on a free, then he moved for 11 million, then 40 million, then 20 million, then 40. What was the board doing letting him go for nothing? I'm upset. Great sign by me. What became of Venegas, the man who I don't think would ever get a work permit for us? He was loaned out for an eternity, and then he went back to Boca Juniors on a free, and then was signed by Juventus most recently. Surprised no European teams took a punt on him. He's 31 now, so he's aged quite a lot and declined. He was very, very good during his days for us. Bekar, who was that quite big player, you might remember we signed from Monaco for 16 million, did nothing. Did absolutely nothing. Left to go to Stuttgart on a free, and you can see he's just not really settled in anywhere, which is a little bit sad. Kone here, of course, the player who was on loan at Sochaux a number of years. Always thought he was going to be good. He never really developed. You can see here he went to Sochaux on a free. Of course, he had loans there like years before. That's cool to see. And then he went to Norwich, and then actually he moved on to Wolverhampton Wanderers, where he was involved in a promotion campaign for them. So that's pretty cool. Marius here, the Polish guy. Wow, okay. So we looked at it before, and he moved to Lechia. And it just jumped out at me because he was valued at 24 million and we'd seen him move for 300k before. He had a weird career. Really late bloomer. Moved to Watford for 32 million and then to Porto most recently for 29 million. Very late bloomer. I wouldn't have given him a shot at things, but he developed. Edison Nino, you might remember we signed at the same time that we signed David Diaz, if I'm not mistaken. Horo here, I remember signing him because I thought he had a unique nationality. He did. Reunion, did he ever play for them? Absolutely not. I mean, there's lots of players here. I'm going to scroll through. You guys will notice some players who have probably moved around, some names that you recognise. I can't go through all the players. We've sat here for half an hour already. I don't want to sit here for another half an hour, as easy as it would be to do just that. But it's just cool to see, you know, what became of the team. Like, in the future, voicing Verdier, how he never really developed. Thought he was going to be really good at the beginning, just never quite happened for him. And then, yeah, a few players right down here languishing at the bottom. Guiri, player with incredible potential. Just never found it, did he? Never found it. Had an injury to start the season. Didn't get beyond that. Taliso, can he still play left back? You bet your bottom dollar he can still play left back. Moved from us, of course, to Juventus for 65 million. He's had a few moves to end his career. Ended up in the second division of Germany. Fair play to him. I love the fact that some of our players were playing quite late into their 30s. That's really cool to see. But anyway, I think that's me kind of done for this. I could have gone on for ages. A ball. He was the first player who we thought was going to be really, really good. It's okay. Not incredible. Okay, we'll give him that. Okafor ended up at PSG. Don't like that. He looks pretty good, though. Good transfer, Jack. David Diaz at Guangzhou. I need to stop clicking through this. I could do this forever. Guys, I will leave a link to the save game for the 11 years in the future one down below. I'll try and remember to leave one for the 5-year one in the future as well. Feel free to check them out. Let me know in the comments if you spot anything in the save games that I haven't covered here. If you spotted anything whilst just watching the video that I missed, I know it will have happened. Let me know what you spotted. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this little end to Lyon Live. And, well, just as a heads up, FM20 content hopefully coming soon. I did say I was going to do a Football Manager Through the Years series. Still not sure if I'm going to do that 100%. But if you'd like to see that, let me know. And I'll see you again very, very soon. Thank you for watching, folks. I'll catch you again next time. It is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.